Welcome into this special at-home edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. It's my off day, but still wanted to get you guys an overreaction episode of the show with our final thoughts on last night's performance in the loss to the San Francisco 49ers. We will scour the internet on today's program and see what people are saying, the good, the bad, and the ugly, from the loss against San Francisco and where this team goes from here, and share my thoughts in just a little while for right now. Before we do, folks, we are closing in on 58,000 subscribers here on Seahawks Today. We're less than 100 away from reaching that next milestone. If you love the Seattle Seahawks, this is the channel for you. Even on my off days, even after a long night like last night where I'm not leaving the office till midnight, still bringing you content here at home. If you can do a thank you for us bringing you content even on my off day, the easiest way you can do is simply by subscribing to Seahawks Today. Every sub matters. It goes a long way in helping grow this channel and bring you guys more content. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. All right, let's start with the quarterback position. A lot of people talking on the internet about if it's time to bench Geno Smith or not and start Sam Howell after Geno threw 2 interceptions. His stat line for the night last night, 30 of 52, 312 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And I was talking to my buddy Chase Sr., the 49ers report last night. We were talking offline after the game concluded. And I think that there is a reality that folks have to accept, have to face when it comes to Geno Smith at this point in time, is that no matter how many weapons you give the guy. I mean, this is one of the best receiving corps in football, right? With DK, Lockett, and JSN. Then you had Noah Fant in there, and then the backfield that they have. No matter how many weapons you get him, Geno Smith will never be an elite quarterback in this league. Geno Smith will never lead a team to a Super Bowl. Geno Smith was, and still is a bridge quarterback, a stopgap quarterback. I think all of us Seahawks fans are forever grateful for what Geno Smith did to get the Seahawks out of the Russell Wilson era and to be able to put the Seahawks in a position to move on from Russ, get all they got in that draft capital, not have to pay Russ and everything. Geno did a lot of good for Seattle for a time being. But now as Geno's looking for this contract extension and wants to be the long-term solution for the Seattle Seahawks here, the Seahawks have to say to themselves, you know what? Maybe we'll let Geno come back one more year on his current contract, but we're sure as hell not paying him to be the long-term answer for this Seahawks team. And I've said it from the very beginning when it comes to Geno Smith, when he was named the starter for this Seahawks team. Geno's a solid quarterback. He's done a lot for Seattle. We are grateful for what he's done, but he's never the long-term solution. He's never the long-term guy. I told you a long time ago, I thought Baker Mayfield would have been a better option. Baker's looking like a franchise guy in Tampa Bay. They have their long-term answer there. We know the Seahawks have, flirted with some of these rookie quarterbacks that have been available in the past. That John Schneider really likes J.J. McCarthy and some of the other quarterbacks. They were interested in Bo Nix potentially, but none of those guys were available when they picked at 16. I think after last night, what I'm saying to myself is Geno doesn't deserve to get benched. I'm not at that point yet, although I'm open to that conversation down the line. But I think we can all sit here and say that it's time to really start weighing our options. All right, when is it time to pull the plug on Geno long term? When should the Seahawks go find that long-term quarterback? Is it going to be this upcoming draft? Is it going to be the next? The clock is ticking on the Geno Smith era in Seattle. I don't think Sam Howell's the long-term solution, but I think that we need to start having that discussion. Where do the Seahawks go from here and figure out this quarterback position down the line as far as I'm concerned? Now, I say that Geno should still be the starter for now. I'm not ready to bench him. What do you guys think? You got 2 options here. Type GS to start Geno Smith. Type SH to start Sam Howell. Weigh in the comment section and let us know what you think. If you would start Sam Howell or if you would start Geno Smith, weigh in and let me know. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the best place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed, whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more. Maybe you want to go see your Seattle Seahawks in action, or maybe you want to go see the Seattle Kraken play. Any team in the Seattle area, any event, they got it all on Game Time. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on, folks. They have their seat views, so you can get the visuals, see what that seat is like. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. All right, let's continue with Overreaction Friday here. And number 2 on our list of overreactions this week, the Seattle Seahawks are not running the football enough with Kenneth Walker III. Not an overreaction. Now, we did see more rushing attempts this week with K9. He had 5 carries against the New York Football Giants. This week he had 14, 20 total carries as a whole for this unit. 14 for Walker, 32 yards, a touchdown, 2.3 yards per carry. The problem is that when the Seahawks were at a point in this game where they struggled to get the run game going, they were struggling to run the football, that Ryan Grubb gave up on the run game too quick. That once it wasn't working, it wasn't like that they said, all right, we're going to go from running inside zone to start running outside zone. Or instead of running through the A gap or B gap, we're going to try to run through the C gap and D gap now. No, they just gave up. They said, you know what? Well, we tried. Let's throw the ball 52 times instead with Geno Smith. We'll do that. I mean, that's what's frustrating here. Yeah, they ran the ball a little bit more than they did against the Giants, but they still gave up on it too quick. I don't think this is an overreaction to say they are not running the football enough with Kenneth Walker III. And here's the reality for Ryan Grubb, and we'll talk more about Ryan Grubb, the Seahawks OC, in a moment. This ain't college anymore. This isn't the Pac-12. The Pac-12's dead, and I'm not mad about it, to be honest. I like the idea of the Huskies in the Big Ten, but that's another story. This isn't college football anymore. You don't throw the ball 50 times with Geno Smith in the National Football League. If you want to win at an elite level in this league, you have to run the football well. Every team at the top, when you look at these teams that have been so good as of late, what do? They all run the damn football well. And the Seahawks, once it stops working, they just give up on it, and that's a problem. Number 3, Dre'Mont Jones, a fraud and one of the worst signings in Seahawks history in free agency. Not an overreaction one bit. Dre'Mont Jones was terrible last night. $20+ million just being wasted. Just a waste of cash. Last night, his stats included 2 total tackles, no QB hits, no tackles for loss. Has there ever been a time when we've sat here and said, wow, what a game by Dre'Mont Jones. I'm so glad we spent $20 million on this guy. I mean, just an absolute waste of cash. I am so sick and tired of Dre'Mont Jones. I cannot wait till the Seahawks move on from him this offseason because it's just been disgusting behavior that we've seen from Dre'Mont Jones. And you have to think about, all right, what could they use that $20 million on instead? How much better off could they be if they could spend that elsewhere? That's what's so infuriating about this. And the number one person to blame is John Schneider. That's a John Schneider issue. That was John Schneider's call to make this signing to bring Dre'Mont Jones in. Nobody's more responsible for this signing than John Schneider is. And when you look at all the injuries that have piled up with the lack of pass rush, how bad it's been, there's Dre'Mont Jones there, and he's doing nothing. So I'm sick and tired of Dre'Mont Jones. I'm ready for him to get out of here. Number 4 in Overreaction Friday. Ryan Grubb is in over his head as the Seahawks offensive coordinator. I'll say that's not an overreaction. I like Ryan Grubb. Don't get me wrong. I think that Ryan Grubb has shown a lot of good things. But part of what makes a great offensive coordinator, at really any level of football, is their ability to adapt. The ability to adapt to the personnel. And they are not adapting enough. We know, it's no secret whatsoever, the Seahawks have an awful offensive line. But as an offensive coordinator, you got to find a way to take that into account. All right, how can I play around that? All right, how can we run to the outside? How can we get the screen and the short passing game going to make up for our issues on the offensive line? And Ryan Grubb is not making those adjustments. He's trying to force the football too much through the air in the passing game. There needs to be a lot of soul searching from Ryan Grubb. I need him to look in the mirror, stare at that thing, and look at himself and say, what the hell am I doing? What do I need to do to get better? It doesn't just all fall on the players, and the players certainly have some work to do. But Ryan Grubb's got to look at that mirror and say, I need to get better. I need to do a better job because I'm holding this offense back from reaching its full potential. Not an overreaction. Last on Overreaction Monday, or Overreaction Friday after, is DK Metcalf. And is he overrated? I think that was one common theme was, if you had him in fantasy last night, he only had about 7 points. He talked earlier in the week how, the Niners weren't ready, that he was going to have a big night and all this. And off of 11 targets, DK finished with 3 catches, 48 yards. That was it from DK Metcalf. Granted, it's not all his fault, certainly, but Seahawks fans, there's certainly reason to expect more out of DK than what he's doing. He is not playing to his full potential. And part of it's scheme, part of it's quarterback, part of it's on DK too. And I don't like DK's attitude. I think we saw the phone call he made where he told Ryan Grubb to, stop pushing the ball to the short stuff, move the ball effing down the field. He said at one point to Ryan Grubb during the middle of the football game on the phone. There's some truth to all that. But we got to see more out of DK Metcalf. We know what he's capable of. He had 3 straight 100-yard receiving games from week 2 to week 4. Why can't we see more of that week in, week out? Why are we talking about games like this where DK fades? It shouldn't be happening. Before we go, let me go back, and we mentioned Dre'Mont Jones here. Was that the worst signing in franchise history? Signing Dre'Mont Jones in that bad contract? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, in for no, weigh in, let me know. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now to Seahawks Today for the latest happenings on your favorite team. Bring you coverage even on our off days here. Why? Because we're built different. Because the 12's the best fan base in the NFL. You guys deserve the best. We're going to continue to bring it to you. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. Got more coverage throughout the weekend. We'll see you next time.